Missing persons cases are incredibly sad and tragic. While some families find out what happened to their loved one when their bodies are discovered months, weeks, or years later, some families are left without answers, searching tirelessly for their loved one. When we think about missing people, we think about people who are taken against their will or caught up in a situation that ended badly. What we don't often think about is those who go missing of their own accord. Here are 5 people who disappeared voluntarily. Number 5. Nicholas Francisco and his wife Christine had the perfect marriage. The pair had met during their time at art school and quickly fell in love, settling in the suburbs of Seattle, Washington. In 2008, the couple had 2 children, a daughter named Isaiah and a son named Noah, with another baby on the way. While money was tight and their home life was stressful, Nicholas had just gotten a new job as an art director for an advertising agency. This would give the Francisco family extra income and ease their worries a bit. That was until a chilly February morning in 2008 when Christine's life would be turned upside down forever. Christine told ABC News, "He was everything that I had dreamed of. I felt like Cinderella." That morning, Nicholas kissed his pregnant wife goodbye and left the home they shared for the last time. When he didn't return home from work that evening, Christine began to panic. In a frantic search for her missing husband, she plastered flyers around the neighborhood, appeared on TV, and appealed to any media outlet she could to draw attention to his case. In the Seattle, Washington area, Nicholas's case was very well known, and it gathered a lot of media attention thanks to the efforts of his pregnant wife. The search carried on for weeks as coworkers and family members came to Christine's aid. Due to the large media attention, she had received lots of donations of baby clothes, food, etc. to help support her through her pregnancy while she looked for her husband. Christine insisted that he wouldn't just walk out on her and the children, but that's when police started making a startling discovery. In Nicholas's desk, they found a receipt for condoms, something that the couple hadn't used for over a year as they were trying for a baby. Along with this, they found more evidence that he was having an affair. Nicholas had secret bank and online accounts where he would chat to numerous different women under the pseudonym of Funtime Steve or Horny Steve. While Christine was at home struggling to feed her children, Nicholas was at a swingers club and taking numerous girlfriends for fancy meals in Southern California. Police managed to track him down through a combination of his online activity and the fact that he had recently opened a bank account in LA. When asked why he did it in an interview for the Charlie Project, he calmly said, "You know, it's sad that I can't be a part of that, but I don't want to be around for the rest of that. There's a whole ecosystem around that I don't even care for." Instead of wanting to be in the lives of his 3 children, Nicholas decided he wanted to be a free single man again, doing whatever with whoever he pleased. During that same interview, he displayed a flippant attitude towards his children, one of whom he's never met. He tells the interviewer that he knows it's affected his children, but people get affected by things every day and many children grow up without fathers. As of 2020, his now ex-wife Christine is stuck with his crippling student loan debt as she was named as a co-borrower. The house they shared has been foreclosed and Nicholas is yet to pay a single penny in child support. Number 4. In 1948, 26-year-old Ablin Arsene Arsenault was accused of having robbed an office along with a Union Pacific Railroad. Not wanting to go down for the crime he didn't commit though, Albin decided it would be easier to live life on the run. For 44 years, he lived under a new name and no one questioned it. Just 4 years after he ran away, he married his wife, Margaret. 1948 wouldn't be the last time that Albin ran away and created a new identity though. When he met his wife, Margaret, he was living under the assumed name of Alex Cooper. He was a musician, a husband, and had 5 children and numerous grandchildren throughout the years. To the community of Cranbrook, British Columbia, Canada, everything seemed normal with Cooper's nice kids, nice house, good job, with a steady income, but Alex was hiding something. In 1986, he took up a job as a traveling salesman, which meant most of his time was spent away from his family. In 1987, his daughter and her husband were driving around Cranbrook, running errands when they spotted Alex's car. Thinking that he'd parked it there to go fishing, they pulled over to go and say hello to him, only Alex wasn't there. There were no traces of Alex in or around his car. This was especially worrying as he had a heart condition that required medication. When his daughter called his mother to report what they had found, fear grew as Margaret revealed she hadn't seen her husband for over 24 hours. After months of researching, following up different leads, and playing through numerous horrific scenarios in their heads, Alex's family appealed to the Supreme Court of British Columbia to have Alex legally declared dead so that they would be able to collect his pension and sort out his estate. When Margaret went to collect Alex's birth certificate to collect his pension, she found that he didn't have one. In fact, there was no record of Alex Cooper even existing before they had gotten married. It was a complete shock for the Cooper family, but they'd come to the realization that Alex Cooper wasn't his real name. Left with more questions than answers, the Cooper family carried on trying to figure out the mystery of Alex Cooper. In 1991, a similar reporting of a man was filed. His name was David Cooper and looked a lot like Alex. Upon searching David's personal belongings, they found pictures of his grandchildren and his family. Alex Cooper and David Cooper were the same person. Alex's case was aired on the TV show Unsolved Mysteries, which I'm sure many of you guys are familiar with. A viewer from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, contacted the show and authorities, and in January 1992, police had finally caught up with Alex. He told them about his past and how in 1948, he'd been falsely accused of robbing an office. Instead of facing time for a crime he didn't do, he ran. He also revealed that he ran away from his family in 1987, as his 65th birthday was fast approaching. When he turned 65, he was eligible to collect his pension and other government benefits. However, without a valid birth certificate, he was unable to do so. He didn't have the heart to tell his family that he'd been lying about his identity and thought that it would be easier if they thought he was dead. He was reunited with his family, but sadly, his wife Margaret passed away just 4 years later in 1996, with Alex passing away in 2007. Number 3. When 20-year-old William Marsh Rice University student Matthew Wilson didn't return home for the Christmas break in 2007, his family and friends knew something was very wrong. This wasn't just a case of a student not wanting to come home for Christmas. Matthew had also missed his final exams for that term, and by December 27, 2007, 2 weeks had passed since he'd last been seen at the university campus. All that was missing from his dormitory was his backpack and his car, a 2004 Dodge Neon. His cell phone had been left in his room. Elliot Harwell, Matthew's roommate, told ABC News' Good Morning America, "He's known for always attending classes and getting good grades. He takes school seriously, but he didn't turn in his final exams, so it's clear that he's behaving out of character. It's just every day that he's gone, it just seems like something bad might have happened." The only clue to his disappearance is that he'd withdrawn $400 in the days beforehand. He wasn't known to drink, smoke, or really do much else outside of studying for his degree. He was known to isolate himself for a day or two at a time in order to get work completed, but his family and friends said it was out of character for him to be gone this long with no contact. 8 months later, Matthew's Dodge Neon was spotted in West Berkeley, California. When campus police made their way to a University of California classroom, they spotted Matthew sitting and using a projector to look at whatever was on his laptop. As it was after hours and the university classrooms were supposed to be closed, he was asked to supply a student ID, which he was unable to do. He also told them that his name was Colin Lynch. In his possession, they found a laptop with the serial number crudely scratched off, along with a checkbook in another person's name, and what appeared to be tools for burglarizing houses. When pressed by campus police, Matthew gave his real name, which then pulled up his missing persons report. When asked by police why he had done it, he simply said, "I wanted to come west and disappear. I felt that West was a good place to disappear. He chose Berkeley as the student community is a good place for a young man like himself to blend in and disappear without asking too many questions. Police suspect that he may have fled to Berkeley to join a hacking network, although this has never been confirmed or denied. A psychotherapist commented that Matthew wanted to live the life of a social reject, living off the land and surviving for as long as he could without working. She also commented, "It's like, congratulations, if you can live the longest without getting a paycheck. Their goal is to kind of outsmart society, and he did it for a little bit." His mother, Kathy Wilson, traveled to California to be with her son and told the San Francisco Chronicle that she's just happy that he's safe and well and doesn't plan on bombarding him with questions about his disappearance. In the same San Francisco Chronicle article, she said, "I'm not going to say, 'woe is me, Matthew, look what you've put me through.' I want him to be alright. If he's living a good life, fine. If he's living on the streets, I'm not going to have that." She added that she believes the stress of being the perfect student got to him. Number 2. Some people run away to start a new life simply because they're bored with the one they're currently living. However, some people, like Judith Bellow, run away in order to survive. In 1993, Judith Bellow went missing from Stanwood, Washington. Her family suspected foul play, and the Snohomish County Sheriff's Office never gave up hope in finding answers for her family. She was last seen on December 13, 1993, at 9:30 a.m. when she left her job at the National Food Corporation. According to a Como News article, she never picked up her 3-year-old son from daycare and didn't go home. It turns out that Judith, who was 28 years old at the time of her disappearance, ran away from her husband as their relationship had turned volatile and abusive. She was said to be very close to her brothers and sisters. In a Herald.net article titled "Missing 18 Years from Stanwood, Woman Phones Police," Judith tells the reporter she felt that she couldn't turn to her family as she lived in terror that her husband would hurt them or cause them trouble. 18 years later, the Snohomish County Sheriff's Department received a voicemail that would leave them shocked. It was from Judith Bellow. She was calling to let them know that she was very much alive and well in California. She revealed that she came out of hiding after she saw she'd been featured on a pack of 52 playing cards of unsolved murders and disappearances that were used in prisons to see if it could jog any of the prisoners' memories about details of the case. Judith's sister said in 2011, "Everybody is happy. The family had much to celebrate when they gathered for Thanksgiving last week. We finally found out that she's alive. We also have 3 new nephews." Number 1. When Lori Erica Ruff of Longview, Texas, took her own life on December 24, 2010, her family were left grieving on Christmas Eve. Not only did they have to grieve the loss of their loved one, they'd come face to face with the truth that Lori Erica Ruff was not who she said she was. The Ruff family weren't the only ones dealing with the loss of a loved one. 30 years prior, 18-year-old Kimberly McLean left her Philadelphia, Pennsylvania home never to be seen again. Shortly after she left Philadelphia, she assumed the identity of Becky Sue Turner, a 2-year-old who had died in a house fire in 1971. In 1988, she changed her name again to Lori Erica Kennedy before settling one last time and taking her husband's surname of Ruff. The couple had a child together, but by 2010, the marriage had turned sour and the pair soon divorced. According to her husband and his family, over the years, Lori became more distant and began displaying strange and troubling behavior. She was extremely secretive and had a box that no one was allowed to look at, not even her husband. At first, he thought that possibly she had gone AWOL from the army and that the box contained troubling family secrets, but following her death, he finally opened it and found the truth. The box contained multiple IDs, driving licenses, and even birth certificates of Becky Sue Turner, who died when she was 2. Many people online quickly jumped to the conclusion that Lori was a spy or involved in some other secret government work, and that's why she was so secretive and guarded. While her family are saddened to learn that over 30 years later that Lori is dead, they're glad to know the truth of what really happened to their 18-year-old daughter. Her husband's brother-in-law told the Seattle Times, "At least now we know her identity and know she had a family that loved her. Now Lori's daughter has a new set of grandparents on the East Coast and a whole new batch of cousins. The two families have been connected." The true motivation for Lori's disappearance has never been confirmed. She didn't gain anything financially from taking Betty Sue Turner's identity, and her family suspect she ran away as she couldn't handle home life anymore. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, be sure to click that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell to keep up to date with all of our future uploads. But I've been Ty Knotts, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.